What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on a single video. It's time to recap the third episode of the 7th season of Teen Mom OG, and it starts off with it being Father's Day. So we're over at Maci's home where we find out that Bentley made Taylor another sign for Father's Day yet again this year. Remember, he made Taylor a really cute one last time. So he makes Taylor a sign, and Maci talks to Taylor about how she plans to take Bentley over to RHINE's family home without the cameras. And I thought that was a really smart decision for her because she really has no clue how Bentley is going to be reacting to seeing RHINE for the first time in a really long time. Remember, RHINE is away for rehab for about 21 days. And prior to that, for God knows how long, RHINE was always high out of his mind when he was around his son Bentley. And so this is going to be a really huge shift for Bentley. And it was a great call on Maci's end to not want the cameras to be around for all of that. Now, Catelynn talks about backing out from wanting to have the baby again, and she really did look stressed as hell in that scene. And we quickly move on over back to Indiana, where Amber talks about how Matt has this like weird hold on her where it's easier for her to walk away from all her other relationships, but not him. And I just had to say, Amber, that is the really, really infamous hold of a narcissist or a sociopath. Like, they have like this crazy something to them that makes it difficult to let go of. And it's a famous thing, so you can totally look that up. And she also notes that another reason that this relationship is so difficult for her to walk away from is because it's the first one in a long time that she's been sober for, and so she is actually like fully feeling the emotions. I thought that was quite interesting. Now, the last thing she says before the scene wraps up is that she's upset at Matt's daughter for wanting, I think her name is Brooklyn, by the way, for wanting Matt to come home and like leave the cameras behind. She's like, you've already ruined my image, and now that like all of this is over here, all of this information is out about you, you're feeling like crap and you want to run away from this. Like, what the heck is that? I just felt like her anger was like, you know, a bit OD in that capacity. So now let's move on over to Farrah, where she heads on to Vegas for some sort of a girls trip. And y'all, Farrah's friends have money. Like, her friend Heather's house was massive. So Farrah was upset with her friend Heather for the fact that she had left Simon in the group chat that spoke about all of them being in Vegas for a girls trip. And I felt like it was really contrived. Like, Farrah loves to do these things where she lets Simon know where she's gonna be and then act all shocked and angry when he pops up. Guys, was Monster sponsoring Ryan's dad, Larry? Because he was in Monster t-shirt and in a Monster hat as well. I was like, what the heck is that? But anyway, Ryan talks to his family all at a cookout about how upset he is that Maci does not want the camera to capture his reunion with Bentley. He's like, you want the cameras around for everything else, why not this? And I just, you know, Ryan, you really should not be looking at like your beef with Maci in this situation, but more at Bentley. I do understand where Maci's coming from for Bentley's sake, because this is really overwhelming for him and not everything has to be publicized. Now, Matt pulls back over into Amber's home in Amber's Corvette with the infamous backpack, and might I say, it looks flatter than usual. Do you guys think that he left that $35,000 with his daughter Brooklyn to hide out for him while he figures out whether or not he's going to be able to continue finessing Amber for more? The two of them sit down in the garage to talk about like the state of their relationship, and Amber tells him this time around, hey, I'm upset over how your daughter is talking about, oh, you need to come home, like I have anything to do with the bad name you've got for yourself across the world. Like, these are your actions. You chose to be on television. And Matt is like, what are you talking about? She didn't say it was your fault or anything like that. Amber gets angrier and Matt just walks away mid-fight, and Amber is about to absolutely lose it here, y'all. Meanwhile, in Iowa, Deborah's getting her own teen mom scenes yet again, and I think it's because she's not like a regular mom. She's a cool mom, you know? She's out here wig shopping with her best friend, you know, the two of them all like Botox, waxy faced and all, like pumped up lips, everything, just talking in the like most obnoxious Valley Girl accents of all time. So she reveals that despite her really, really volatile relationship with her daughter Farrah, she still wants Farrah to be her maid of honor. I mean, after all the shit Farrah's talked about her, you really do have to wonder why Deborah worships her so much when she's got another daughter. You would think that Deborah would want her other daughter Ashley to be her maid of honor because Ashley helped plan the wedding. Ashley doesn't go around, you know, talking shit about Deborah. They didn't have this police dispute with each other. Like, she doesn't withhold her children from Deborah as far as I know. So I just don't understand why Deborah, well, I'm pretending I don't understand. We all know it's the fame. Why Deborah puts Farrah and Sophia on this like high pedestal. Remember, she wants Sophia to be the flower girl, but Ashley's got kids too. It's just so sad to see how much weight Deborah puts fame on her relationship with her kids. Like, Farrah could treat her any which way, and just so long as the girl is still on TV, there's still a slot to be maid of honor. It's really pathetic. As predicted, the exchange between Maci and RHINE for Bentley over Father's Day did not go well. Maci and Taylor are sitting in a hot tub after, you know, the whole thing goes down, and they're talking about the mess that went over. So Maci was like, first of all, when I dropped off Bentley, RHINE didn't even properly like hug him and like, you know, talk to him or anything like that. He's like, go play basketball or whatever. And I was kind of like, okay, that's something, but I do understand it if it's in the context of RHINE wanting to get back to Bentley later, but wanting to sort things out with Maci first. Like, he can't just play with Bentley the whole time and not talk to you about what went down, right? Like, that's what you want, to be kind of in the know. So anyway, she reveals that after that happened, after RHINE dismissed Bentley, she was asking him about his stint in rehab, like what happened, what are his plans for aftercare, all of that, and he absolutely refused to open up about any of it. And in fact, he's like, I just want to let you know, I don't like your husband. I got a problem with your husband. And it turns out that Taylor and RHINE's dad actually do have some kind of a beef going on because of the way Larry yells at Bentley while he plays t-ball. Like, apparently he's some kind of like, you know, sports coach dad who just gets really like inexplicably angry and enraged. Remember Kale, the way she is with Isaac playing soccer, just like insanely screaming and stuff? Probably like that, but on crack. And it turns out that Larry was always that way towards RHINE as well. And Taylor was like, hey, stop it. Like, you don't need to be jumping up on a fence at a children's game. Like, he's 8 years old, relax. And Larry got really pissed off over that. Damn. So Maci got all petty, and like in this instant, I was so upset that the cameras were not present because Maci was like, well, I don't like your snake of a wife. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine that being filmed for Teen Mom history? Like, that would have been one of the most golden scenes of all time because Maci has been more than kind to Mackenzie throughout this entire season, and just to see her drag her and put her in her place would have been absolutely glorious. Of course, it turns out that the two of them could not kind of resolve their issues, and RHINE finished the conversation by being like, I'll see you in court. And all Maci could do was laugh because she was like, listen, I've been more than generous to RHINE. What a judge is going to give him is nothing compared to what I've been giving him. He's probably going to get nothing but like 2 hours a week at most, like compared to what he's getting now. And I'm going to be on his ass if so. The conversation then segues into Bentley's behavior after he visits with RHINE's family. And so a producer asks, like, what's Bentley like after he comes back from visiting with RHINE and like his parents? Maci and Taylor are like, he's a spoiled brat. He's like, you know, fetch me this, fetch me that. I don't want to do my chores this. I don't want to do my chores that. And it is just so funny considering what happened in the last episode where RHINE was like, oh, well, Bentley does too much at Maci's house. I just can't imagine, you know, a child that young having that much to do, that much responsibility. It was just such a crazy flashback to that. It was great that these two were back to back so that single point could be pointed out, you know, in this episode, that RHINE's family coddles Bentley way too much and it's not healthy for him, according to Maci and Taylor. I don't have a dog in this fight, y'all. Meanwhile, in Michigan, Catelynn cancels her IUD appointment the day of, despite knowing she wanted to cancel it for quite some time. I hate when people do that. And she tells Tyler that she's not ready, and he agrees that they aren't ready as well. So back to Amber's crazy fight with Matt. A producer talks to Matt, who's upset at Amber for quote unquote attacking his daughter. And he's like, I'm not, you know, dealing with this for another 24 hours. She's being crazy. Meanwhile, back in the garage, Amber's talking to another producer, and she's like, I am so effing done with him. I want to throw something at his face. I'm over it. And I jumped so high in my chair. I was so happy for Amber in this moment. In Farrah's world over in Vegas for a little bit, Simon actually did end up showing up to the party that she was at, and so she left, and we do see her back at her father Michael's house. She says that Simon adds way too much drama and cannot handle being being in the friend zone. So she's completely over their relationship and kind of wants to sever any sort of ties that she has with him, which we all know does not happen. So again, back at Jen and Larry's house, you guys, this episode was so fast paced. Everyone is sitting out in the back, still at the little Father's Day camp out, I think. And they talk about the fight over Taylor and Larry, and Larry actually calls Taylor Coksucker, and it was just so uncouth for one of the teen mom grandparents to speak like that. Larry really has a short fuse, and sometimes I kind of wonder what's going on with him to be like just so, I don't know, like wild and crazy and just to the point where even Ryan had to calm him down. It's like, if Ryan Edwards has to calm you down, you've got a problem, you know? Even like his wife Jen always seems to be like walking on eggshells around him. Like there's just something so insidious about him and this family a little bit to me, and it seems like it's really gonna boil to the top this season of Teen Mom OG. Things actually get hilariously delusional when Ryan talks about how he feels like Maci is jealous of him. Jealous of what exactly? I don't know. He's got like a gold-digging wife who couldn't care less, you know, if she has him dead or alive based on her allowing him to drive while passed out, right, to the wedding altar. He's got the most enabling parents in the world who refuse to provide him structure and like tell him about himself so that he can grow. You know, he just got out of rehab. I mean, like, what is there for Maci to be jealous about? I don't exactly know. Larry latches onto that comment and is like, yeah, I think she's still in love with you, if anything. Like, my God, the way she talked about you last season all the time. And then Mackenzie jumped in, and I just know that you guys are gonna drag me for this, but I thought her comment was funny as shit. She was like, I mean, Maci did say that she fell asleep crying over Ryan every day. Like, what the hell is that? I was like, Maci really did like lob that up for Mackenzie to throw out of the park. It was effing funny to me. And Larry's like, I feel bad for Taylor, if anything. Like, Maci is obsessed with Ryan. Like, Ryan's family is so upset that Maci blew the lid on his drug abuse. And I don't even think that she really blew the lid, because we would have found out anyway based on him passing out, Mackenzie talking about Xanax. Like, come on. And it's to the point where they are attacking her marriage. And this is a whole new low for them, especially considering how close they've always been with Maci. Remember a couple of seasons ago when Maci, was it Jade at the time? Like, she had these kids back to back. I can't even tell which one it would be, but I think it was Jade. You know, she had Jade newly and she wanted to go somewhere with Taylor. And so she had Ryan's parents watch Jade for her. Like, that's how close they were. So to see that this is how low they've come and like just how broken the family relationship is, all because Maci seems to be the only one who wants to acknowledge Ryan's drug abuse and to get him help. Like, I do think her cries for help are genuine. It's just so sad that the family is so upset about this and her speaking out that they want to attack her marriage, her character, everything about her. It was really, really difficult to watch that scene, knowing how beautiful the bond between these two families have pretty much always been. I'm telling you, Mackenzie, Ryan, Larry, and like, I think Jen even nodded in agreement. They were all like, Maci's untrustworthy. She only likes you until she doesn't like you anymore, and then she goes after you like XYZ. And Larry wanted to say so much more, but Ryan told him to calm down. I was like, wow, this must have been getting bad. Ryan's like, tell me in private, don't say it on camera. Like, absolutely crazy how much damage Larry was willing to do to Maci. Like, ooh, you know? And then he kind of wraps up the scene by being like, one day, I swear to God, you're all gonna see the truth, and Bentley's gonna see the truth. And I'm just like, what is there to expose about Maci? I feel like she's, you know, she did have her party girl phase where she would leave Bentley with some people and go travel around with her friends. She did have him living in like some kind of a sorority house so she could party with her friends. But, you know, once she got over that scene and got the partying out of her system, she's been like, you know, so consistent and just so good to him. And I feel like, I don't know, like what do they think is going to come out about Maci one day? Because I just don't see anything coming out. It's Ryan who had this drug issue that caused him to not really spend quality time with his son. Bentley has talked about, you know, on camera how he doesn't like visiting with Ryan because Ryan is always like so slow, doesn't pay attention to him. He's usually just with Jen and Larry. I think he said his dad even made him uncomfortable sometimes, and it's just because he doesn't understand that his dad is high. Remember the crazy eyes he had for like a couple of seasons could scare the shit out of anybody, you know? So I just don't understand what they think is going to come out about Maci, and it's just so sad how much they enable Ryan and like live in this delusional world with him where he can do no wrong. He's a golden child. He's done nothing to be, you know, sorry for, ashamed of, like, called out on. I just don't get that family at all. Now, you guys, in the final scene of the episode, I really could not say how proud I am of Amber. Like, what happened in this final scene was gold and well-deserved for her. I was so, and I still am so happy for her, so proud of her. Like, she marched her ass on up to Matt in the bedroom, still upset about him walking away from her. She's like, why would you walk away from me in the middle of a conversation? You always do that, and it's not flying anymore. And so Matt was like, are you crazy? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, Brooklyn didn't mean it like that. She's just a teenager. Amber's like, she's 20. What the F? I'm so done with you. Like, you know, since you don't want to be on the show anymore, you don't want to be a part of my life, I'm done with you. Get out. And so Matt's like, are you high? Of course, he always does that to Amber whenever she's certain of herself and something. He always tries to make her second guess herself or believe she's crazy, and it's disgusting how frequently he abuses her like that. He's like, are you high? Amber's like, look in my eyes, tell me I'm freaking high. He's like, no, you're not, I can tell by your eyes. Then why even say it? You were just such an asshole, Matt. And she's like, get the F out of my house. And Matt, the look he gets in his eye was classic sociopath. He's like, you do know it's my house, right? I felt like he might as well have just said to Amber, you do know I scammed your ass, right? Just the way he was looking at her was so disgusting and so vile. Like, he was like, you know what? I cashed out already. You know that backpack I walked back in with? It was empty because your money is all the way in Boston with my daughter, and my ass is about to drive the Corvette you were stupid enough to buy me so I could go cash out and live my little life in Vegas. And so after he said, you do know it's my house too, Amber was like, so what are you going to be, like a little bitch and stay in here? Like, a man would leave. And on that note, Matt did leave the house, and I just gave Amber a standing ovation. I've been waiting years for her to, like, gather up the strength to get rid of him, and to see her finally do it, even as he threw his last cheap shots at her to try to convince her she's crazy, you know, making a big mistake or her feelings were invalid. She absolutely stood her ground, and I, you know, just literally watching her break the chains of like abuse and like whatever that he had over her was beautiful. Like, I don't like Amber one bit, but like, I am happy for any woman who can get out of an abusive relationship. And that concludes the third episode of the 7th season of Teen Mom OG. As usual, I am more excited to hear what you have to say about the episode. So make sure to leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more. Feel free to share it with your friends as well. And follow me across social media, where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.